frustrated. But then took some time, stepped back, which is very, very important. You have a bunch of stuff go on. Always try and step back and reassess the situation, because what happens is we'll get so caught up in we'll get so caught up in the day-to-day activity, the mundane or the routine, or we get so caught up into these cycles or in a rut. What you need to do, step back and reassess the situation, right? So, had a bunch of activities happen, well, that didn't happen that I was trying to really get to. But that being said, um, step back and reassess the situation, right? So I started looking at it from a different angle. So when I started looking at things from a different angle, I started to realize something, that sometimes stuff happens for a reason. Now, it's not always clear, but it's about time we started taking a different approach to how you do things in life, right? Because we'll get so caught up in doing things exactly one way, whether it's efficient or not. We'll get caught up in doing them that way because it's the norm and it's comfortable. So it's about time we reassess some things in our personal lives, right? Do what you mean by that. All right. Give you an example of some other stuff that's happened to me, right? So I had a classmate of mine just recently pass away. Now, brother was a good dude. Perfect? Nah, not perfect. Because who is? But heart of hearts, I know he was a good dude. Funny as hell, goofy, which is probably why we got along. Now that I think about it, because we both kind of goofy. Um, but no, dude was in high school, went to high school together. Me and him ended up going to the same college. And the funny part was when he came down to A&M, I remember very clearly. I ran into him, and he was in the Corps Cadets. Now, if you know anything about Texas A&M, Corps Cadets is probably like the biggest. I mean, I'm gonna just call it what it is. It's a frat. It's a it's a frat, male female frat. Yeah, they're military based and all that, but it's really just a frat. Because think about it, your first year you a fish, right? You have to do all the running around, all the doing what somebody else say, similar to pledging, right? When you're in the interest, when you're in that group of interested people, they'll have you running around doing a whole bunch of stuff. Your sophomore year, you usually move up in the ranks, but then you're learning a lot, and then you get to treat some other people a certain kind of way. But this is usually what I'll call the pledging process. That second year. Your junior year, you kind of hit the ranks, get a little swagger, get a little muster, you get a little power, and you start slinging it around a little bit. Then your senior year, you get the boots, and then you the big shit, right? Kind of like when you pledge, and then you cross, and then you out, and everybody know who you are. Anyway, back to the story. So, dude, real cool, passed away, goofy brother. Um, no, left course, had kids, family of his own, and just thought about it, man. We had a conversation not too long ago about getting shit together just in case, right? By getting life insurance together, by making sure your kids are taken care of, about investing for the future. And just thankfully he went ahead and did all it, because now his family's not looking for or trying to establish a GoFundMe account to put him in the ground. So I guess I'm looking at it and saying it's about time that we start getting ourselves together, right? About time to start getting ourselves together and making some different shit happen. Current situation we're living in, not the best economy. Regardless of what you think about the government and who's running it, um, I can tell you this much. 4 years ago, I felt a little safer, and I felt like my money was a little bit better. But that's just me personally. Um, I'm looking at all this again, step back, looking at it. I'm thinking, no, everybody's jumping down Ice Cube's throat about talking to your Republicans and the Democrats. Everybody jumping down this man's throat, calling him a sellout, calling him all kinds of names. And I thought about it. Step back again, really thought about this. When Ice Cube left NWA, they called him a sellout. However, he saw something that everybody else couldn't see. He ended up being right. When he left rap alone and went to be an actor, everybody called him this, that, and the other. No, he's always made moves ahead of a lot of other people. So looking at that brings me to my next topic. It's about time we stop beating each other up and calling each other names just because we don't agree with somebody's point of view. You don't have to agree with me. Try to understand where I'm coming from. If you have a person that lives in California, you have a person that lives in Washington State, you have a person that lives in Texas, you have a person that lives in New York, and you have a person that lives in Florida. And you ask them, how do you get to DC? How do you get to Washington, DC? They're all going to have a different answer. Does that mean that any of them are wrong? Nope. What it has to do with is your current state, your current location, and where you're trying to go. Now, looking at this, the people from California, Washington, Texas, they're going to all tell you, oh, you need to go east to get to DC. That's going to be the general direction. They're going to say, head east. Now, person in Florida is going to say, you got to head north. Person in New York is going to say, you need to go south. What good would it do them to all sit up there and argue about how to get to DC if we first don't understand that everybody is starting in a different location? Everybody's coming from a different place. So if everybody's starting from a different place, but yet we're headed to the same place, why would I argue with somebody from California when I'm in New York and we talking about getting to DC? Can't argue with how you get there, right? Because how you start and where you start from is going to be different from where I start from. What we can agree on is where we're going, right? Step back and see the bigger picture. It's about time we start stepping back and seeing the bigger picture and realizing that just because somebody has a different perspective than your own does not mean that they can't get to the goal. Now, also with that being said, a person from New York going to DC not going to take as long as somebody coming from California, Texas, or Washington State to get to DC. You start in Cali or Washington, it's going to take you a lot longer to get to DC than somebody in New York, Florida, or Texas. But will you get there? If you head in the direction you know is the right direction. You'll get there. Might take you a little longer, but you'll get there. Now, what I also need people to understand is just because we all are headed in an opposite direction doesn't mean at some point in time our path won't be aligned. Because think about it. You got somebody coming from Washington State, Texas, California. They're all going to head east. Now, with that being said, it's likely that at some point, the people from Washington, California, they're going to end up on the same path a lot quicker. However, a person from Texas might end up on that same path. Starting point different, but they're headed in the same direction. At some point, their paths will become parallel. They'll become the same. Now, a person from Florida and a person from New York, they'll never be on the same page. Because honestly, coming from New York, you got to take 95 south. Coming from Florida, you have to take 95 north. But it'll get you there. Their paths may never ever cross, but they're headed in the same direction. So again, if you think about this, step back, look at the bigger picture. Are we headed in the right direction from where you started? If the answer is yes, I'm not going to argue with somebody from New York, California, or Florida about how to get to DC when I'm in Texas. I'm going to say, aha, I understand where you're coming from, but me, myself, I'm going to have to head in a different direction to get there. Now, coming from Texas, I have to go a little bit north. I have to go a little bit east. Right? Oh, bell. There you go, Shimmy. Get the bell for you. So when I look at this, I started really thinking about it and thinking about how we can all stop fighting each other. Because it doesn't make sense and it's not getting us anywhere. Because if I were to let somebody from California navigate for somebody coming from California, they'd be all twisted. Now, of course, I'm using this as a long metaphor. I guess you could call it an allegory. However, I really need people to start stepping back and thinking and really figuring out, is it worth the effort to fight somebody that's trying to get to where we're all headed just because they start in a different spot? It's not worth it, right? What we have to understand and we have to start learning about is stepping back and seeing the bigger picture. So when I say this, you all, it's about time that we put down the pettiness. We let all the pettiness go. It's about time that we actually sit up here and be honest with ourselves about some things. Because if you were truly honest about some things, it wouldn't, a lot of this going on wouldn't even bother you. What do I mean by that? Well, let's be honest. A lot of people that look like me are going to vote Democratic in this upcoming election. Why? Mainly because if they voting against racists. And it's just that simple. Not saying that there aren't racist Democrats. However, if you look at it in its totality and you look at what you see, a lot of racists we see on TV are Republican. Go figure. Now, does that mean that all of them are? Nope. Does it mean that every person that's Republican is racist? Nope. Does it mean that every person that's Democrat is not racist? Nope. It's what we see and what we recognize and tie things to. So it's about time that we stop letting people dictate and scare us. Because if I take that same thought process and I apply it to somebody that looks like me, a black man, and I go overseas, and then you go to different countries, and most countries, you from the US, they treat you like royalty. However, and forgive me, y'all, because I'm nervous. I got nervous energy, so I'm biting my nails. However, if I look at how black people are portrayed on TV, radio, and movies, we don't always have the best reputation visually. Does that mean we're all bad? No. However, could I see where somebody could derive a negative connotation about me because I'm a black man? I can see it. Would I agree with it? Nope. But I can understand why they got their perception. Now, it's our role and our goal to change that perception. So, to all my Republican friends out there, if you don't want people to think of you as a racist, stop hanging around racists. Stop allowing racists to represent your party. Denounce it. Get away from it clearly and concisely. Step away from it. On the other hand, Democrat, just because I'm black don't mean you automatically get my vote. I need to know what you're doing for me. And this is the point Ice Cube was trying to make. However, some of y'all don't understand it because all you see is a black man doing something different from you. Now, be honest with you, I have some Republican friends of all races. Now, the reason they're Republican, they have valid points. Some of them believe that, hey, you got to take care of businesses, which is true. You got to make sure businesses are able to thrive and that'll feed the economy. This is true. However, you also have to remember one thing about a business. A business's most important asset are the people. And without the people, there is no business. And without the business, there is no economy. So, with that being said, the most critical thing to take care of is the people working for and at the businesses. I'm just saying. Now, Ice Cube has a very valid point. Just because you're a Democrat and I'm black, don't mean you automatically get my vote. I want you to write something down on paper to say, hey, this is what we're going to do for the black community. That's all Cube trying to do. He's trying to get somebody to put it in writing exactly what they're going to do for the black community. Because every other community, guess what? They have a written deal to get this block of votes. This is what we're going to do for your community. Would it matter to me who did it? Not really. If they stepped up and held to their word. And it's showing that, hey, since we got these seats or since we got won this election, these are the things we've done for your community. Therefore, it would behoove you to re-elect me so I can do some more of these things. Do you realize that the black community in America is the only community that does not have that with a political party? Do you understand why evangelicals always vote Republican? It's because Republicans have told them, guess what? You ride with us, we're pro-life. That's a critical topic to evangelicals. being pro-life. So guess what? You have a whole bunch of evangelicals that always they no matter what else is going on, being pro-life is, hey, that's the thing that matters most to me. So you saying you pro-life, I'm gonna rock with you. I don't care about nothing else. You do that, I'm gonna rock with you. You got a block of voters that's always got your back. Sound familiar? But it's about time us as a community, we get our talking points together and make one of these political parties show up or shut up. Or should I say put up or shut up? Here's the other thing that I really need people to think about. In a country large and populous as the US, why are there only two major political parties? Have you thought about that? Have you ever really thought about it? There's only two major political parties. That's it. Independents are there. But let's be honest, they ain't just really moving weight like that, right? They get a little ripple here and there when they join forces with one of the other sides, but they just ain't really making moves. However, you look at other countries, most other countries have between 3 and 5 political parties jockeying for power. Why not in the US? Show you something. Just pay attention. If you look at how the US is divided, right? Two big factors, well, three big factors are the wealthy, middle class, poor. That would give you three. But the poor and the middle class really don't have that much power. So they can't really just put up a whole bunch of political ads and have people running for them, right? So you got Democrat, Republican. Bunch of power on both sides, bunch of money on both sides. Watch what I do here. European descent, African descent, Asian descent, Native Americans. That's four different groups. If these four different groups jockeyed for position and power, guess what would happen? It would cause a lot of chaos, and a lot of people would feel like, oh no, we can't give X, Y, and Z the same amount of power as us. So they get rid of that and they try and pigeonhole different segments of all these groups. What happens? With two political parties. So in my head, I think it's about time we step back and do like Cube is saying. If there's only going to be two political parties, well, damn it, we need a list of stuff that you're going to do for us. These are our, our key elements that we want for anybody that want us, for anybody that want our vote. These are the critical items for us. This is where you also have to look at Black people, brown people, Asians. If you want to be represented, you can't argue about the petty bullshit, right? If you say, hey, I want better education, want more representation, I want a better life for my kids. If they say, hey, guess what? We can put a bunch of businesses there that'll hire people that look like you. We can give tax breaks to those that run businesses that look like you. You have some people that'll agree. Then you have this other percentage of people over here that say, well, I don't want to create it. That's too much work. Why can't you get one of these big businesses just come in here? And they'll cause a whole bunch of bullshit over something that's not that important. And those people right there, it's about time we step back and realize those are the same people that Harriet Tubman would have left their ass behind. And those are the people that's doing all that petty bullshit. Those are the same motherfuckers we gotta leave behind. Fuck them. Get up, put on, put something towards it, shut the fuck up and get out the way. Period. All right? We have to start learning that just because somebody makes some noise, don't mean that shit important. Don't. Because if it's not adding to the goal of moving forward and it's a distraction, blow them off, keep pushing. Because I'm going to tell you right now, when I started, I talked about a person, people in Washington State, California, Texas, New York, Florida. If I told those people that, hey, whoever gets to DC first, gets $1 million. Harriet focused on the bigger picture. That's right. Harriet focused on the bigger picture. But back to what I was saying. You got these 5 people. Again, Washington State, California, New York, Florida, Texas. If I told 5 people, had them in one room and said, hey, whoever gets to New York first, I'll give you $1 million. If you bring one other person with you, I'll give them $1 million too. If you bring 3, I give you each $1 million. If you bring 4, I give each one of you $20 million. If you bring all 5 of y'all together, I bring you $100 million. Smart thing would be, hey y'all, how can we work together to all get to Washington, D.C. at the same time? So we can all get rich together, right? We'll get more money if we get there together. But along the way, it's going to be stupid motherfuckers that start bullshit and get in their feelings because we didn't do it my way. I wanted to do it this way. And them the motherfuckers you got to leave behind and cut your losses. Because at the end of the day, if I get to DC by myself, I'll still get $1 million if I get there first. If somebody else comes along, cool, fine. But I got to keep pushing forward because if I don't get there, it ain't shit for me. But if I get there, I know at least I get $1 million. Now, if these other mofos want to come on and work with me, cool, fine. But if not, fuck you. I'm headed to that direction. You can get on, ride with me, or get the fuck out of my way. So, I'm saying this to tell you all, just because somebody looks like you, don't mean they with you. Number 2, if you're trying to get somewhere and somebody not hearing you, okay, cool. If that's what you want to do, peace. Peace. Leave me the fuck alone. Go on about your business, and I'm going to get there because I'm going to get mine. It could be selfish. Some people will say that. But here's the thing. If I'm not losing my soul, I'm not selling out people, I'm not doing other people dirty, if I'm not causing any negative impact on anybody else's life, but I'm trying to achieve my goals, and I don't want to deal with all the foolishness, and I leave you the fuck alone, can't blame that person because they ain't with the bullshit. Don't believe me. Let me give you an example. Me and Monique argue all the time about what is best for the Black community. I think personally, it's education. Monique believes it's the family union. That's what her belief is. I believe it's education. She believes it's the family unit. These are the two things that me and Monique do not agree on. What's the best path? Right? We don't agree on it. However, we both see the importance of the other's argument. So where we could disagree about how to get there, we're not negatively impacting the other about getting there. I see what you're doing now. That's cool, but I don't really want to attack the problem that way. So I'm gonna do it over here my way. I respect what you're doing, so I'm not gonna cause no harm, no foul. And if I can help, let me know. But I'm gonna put my energy over here. No harm, no foul. We just trying to attack the same problem a little bit different. This is why we can get along. Now, granted, Monique has about maybe 6,000-7,000 years experience on me, but that's cool though. She's lived a couple of lifetimes, and her and Abraham went to middle school together, so she may know something I don't, which is fine. That's cool. But I see it my way, right? I see it my way. She sees it her way. But at the end of the day, we can both work together to achieve our goals. Because where she can see, hey, the family unit is important, you great. Build that family unit. But if that family unit then needs education, come holler at your boy. Now, if I got some educated people that say, look, I'm educated, I'm trying to pass this wealth on. How do I build a family? You know what? That's not my expertise. But I know who you go talk to. I got a new nickname. I know a guy Bobby. That's my new nickname, right? Because I know a lot of people. I know a guy Bobby, my new nickname. I do know a lot of people that do a lot of different things. But where we get along is we don't always agree about how to attack situations. But if I run across somebody that needs your skill set, I'm going to send their ass to you. You run across somebody that needs my skill set, send their ass on over to me. I'm going to help them out because they said, hey, such and such sent me over to you. They said you could help out with this. Cool, I got you. Done deal. So I'm going to need all my peoples out there. Don't matter what color you are. I can only speak on the experience in America from a black male perspective, because hell, that's all I've ever been. Since birth. I hadn't changed my sex, hadn't changed my race. Don't knock those that do. I just haven't done it. So I can only speak from a black male perspective. But what I'm telling you is, just because somebody has a different viewpoint to you, doesn't mean you all can't get along and actually move forward. What happens is people get caught up in the petty bullshit. And the petty bullshit, that crabs in a bucket theory syndrome, crabs in a bucket syndrome, where you cannot stand to see anybody else succeed. So you put more energy into trying to bring them down than actually going after something yourself. What sense does that make? Because but every time I've been helped out by a black man or a black woman in corporate America, guess what they told me to do? How to pay them back. Every time you see somebody else that looks like us, every time you see somebody else that looks like us, and you see the drive, you see the motivation, you see the work ethic, and they trying to get there and they need a little help, what your role is to help them out. That's how you pay me back. Denethia Moe is a real OG. I can't knock her wisdom. You know what? When you have 7,000 years of experience in any damn thing, you're going to be an OG. But that don't mean you right all the time. Shit changes. The world changes. Things change. However, I will give it to Mo. A lot of her beliefs and thought processes are very, very valid. Don't agree with them all, but they valid. So there. That's it. I don't know what I was supposed to ring the bell for, Lab Rat. But I'm gonna tell you, like, back to what I was saying. If we ever want to get somewhere, and this is not, don't matter what color you are, right? I don't care about what color you are. What I care about is, what are you doing to help move society forward, right? What are you doing to help make it better for those that come after us? What are you doing to make sure that you leave the world in a better place than you found it, and not just be greedy and say, "Oh, I want, I want, I want, I want," right? Because the real worth of a person is not what you do in your lifetime, but the legacy you leave behind. Because I know right now, my parents and grandparents, great grandparents, would they be proud of every little thing I've done? Absolutely not. Because I've done some dumb shit in my life. It is what it is. Would they be happy with the progress that I've made compared to where they came from, where I've started, and where I've gone, and the influences I've had on other people to help them do right and get better? You know what? I think they would. I don't think anything that I've done, my life in totality, I honestly believe that my ancestors would be proud of me. Could I have done some things better? Yep. Sure could have. But have I taken advantage of the positions I've been in? Have I helped others achieve their goals? Have I not only helped others, but have I excelled myself? I have. And I know it's tipsy, it's Wednesday, happy hour with Hendrix on Wednesday night. But I had to change it up a little bit, right? Because we got this election going on, COVID shit all over the place. Motherfuckers don't even know how to wear a mask. And you got some stupid motherfuckers out here that don't even know how to wear a mask, and you wonder why we got so many accidental pregnancies. You can't even put a mask on right. How the fuck am I supposed to believe you can put a condom on or take birth control right? I can't believe it. Because you can't do something simple as put a mask on, wash your hands, and not cough on other motherfuckers. You can't handle simple shit like that, but I'm supposed to believe that you out here practicing safe sex. Who the fuck are you? So, I got all off track. I don't even know what the point is. I got off track, but I'm going to get back to where I was going. Uh, would my ancestors be proud of me? I think they would. I think they would. And ask yourself this. If you can't look in the mirror and say, at least once a week, at minimum once a week, have you done something to help somebody else? No matter how big or how small. Have you done anything to help somebody else besides yourself? If the answer is no, you got some shit that needs to change. Period. Because one time a week, one time, helping one random stranger or one person you know, doesn't matter. Do you realize that's 52 people every single year that you have a positive impact on? One time a week. Do something one time a week to positively impact somebody else. One time. And you tell them, you don't have to pay me back. Find somebody else. Do what I did for you. The world will change like that. But you got a lot of greedy motherfuckers out here that want to do what they want to do, don't care about nobody else, and selfish as hell. And them the motherfuckers we got to leave in the back. Leave them behind. Don't worry about them. Don't argue with them. When you see the stupidity and it pops out, okay, that's how you want to do it? Cool. Leave the ass alone. Here's the thing you got to understand. Two people are arguing from a distance. You can't tell who's who. So in my head, both of you motherfuckers dumb. So leave that shit alone. There are people that only want attention. So they will do negative shit just to get attention. Them motherfuckers, it's about time. Leave them motherfuckers alone. It's about time we start changing up some shit. It's about time that we take ownership for our own bullshit. So y'all, no music this week. I just had to get some shit off my chest. But I hope my message was clear. Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Denise, you never know how it'll come back and bless you in the end. And just a real quick story before I get off. Have a guy at work that I work with, right? He said his whole career choice was based on 2 months of something I did 20 years ago that I had totally forgot about. Him and I started working together. His car broke down. I'm his lead. For 2 months, I took the dude to work. But it was on my way to work. I didn't care. Like, hell, I got to pass right by your crib anyway to get to work. Said, I'll pick you up. Come on, let's go. He said that 2 months changed his whole outlook on corporate America. Like, because everything I did, I looked at it and it's like, you know what? He's like, if Hendrix hadn't been there for me for them 2 months, it took me to work every day, back and forth, 2 months till he got enough money to get his car fixed. Dude, I wouldn't have had a job. My whole career path would have been totally different. Honestly, I had forgot about this shit because it wasn't that big of a deal to me. But I did one thing for one person that was positive. Not looking for anything in return. Only thing I wanted to do was, hey, did I have a positive impact on somebody? Yep. 20 years later, grain of sand. Had never given it a second thought because I wasn't looking for anything. It was doing something positive for somebody else to have a positive impact on them. And with that being said, y'all, think about that shit. Now, gonna wrap the show up with the church announcement. So Tuesday, Tipsy night, Tipsy Tuesday. Hell, I don't know what it is. Tuesday, shimmy be on with the drinking and the bullshit and the shits. Tuesday. Wednesday night, got your boy Hendrix. Thursday is kind of fucked up because I don't know how this go. It flip flops. One week you got After Dark. Other week you got our new crew, the F Bomb. You figure that shit out. If you subscribe, it don't matter because you'll be here watching it anyway. Friday nights, it'll be the whole crew. Make sure you join us this Friday for the Halloween special. So it'll be MTG and the F-Bomb crew, all motherfuckers mixed up together. So look, y'all seen the F-Bomb, them motherfuckers retarded. You seen MTG, we retarded too. We putting the two together on this Friday. Now, usually the show is 90 minutes, but honestly, no, this shit, I'm seeing this shit go at least 2 hours because you're going to have a bunch of retardedness going on. And just a reminder, we have MTG Beauty of the Week that's going to be starting. So I've said this a couple of times, and if you've heard it, cool. If you haven't, I'll let you hear it now. What I'm wanting to do on the show is to provide a positive light for women. I want to showcase women that are beautiful on the inside and the outside. So if you know a woman that is a business owner, that is a single mom, making boss moves, whatever they doing, you got your own company. Hey, I want to know about it. Shoot us a little bio at mastergas@gmail.com, mini bio and a pic, and we'll be reaching out to some people. But I want to start promoting our Black women. You all, in my head, are the most underrated and underappreciated group of people in our society. So I don't want to objectify you and do anything with like swimsuits or anything like that. No, I want to talk about your brain. I want to talk about the boss moves you're making. I want to talk about the thing that actually makes you beautiful from the inside. It's great if you're beautiful on the outside, but I need you to be beautiful on the inside. And that's what MTG Beauty of the Week is. So we want it all. So it doesn't matter what you do. Or if you have somebody you want to nominate, hey, hit the inbox, let us know what's going on. It's all good. So y'all, it's been real. It's been about 45 minutes. Look here. Trouble. Uh yeah, yeah. Lab rat, they all motherfuckers together on one, yeah, but it won't be Friday the 13th though. It'll be Friday the 30th. So hey, it is what it is. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry, it's past my bedtime. Like I told y'all, I get up at 0 dark 30 and kick the chickens on my way out the door. With that being said, you all be safe. If you have not voted, please go out and vote. They're saying numbers are higher than ever. That's cool, fine, but it don't matter if you didn't vote. So you, right there, yeah, you didn't vote yet. Take your ass to the poll and vote right now. Okay? No, not the other person. You, right there. I'm talking to you. Get your ass out there and go vote. No excuses. All right. And with that being said, y'all, your boy Hendrix is out. I'm still drinking on something, sipping on something, smoking on something. But next week, maybe we'll get back to that. But as for right now, I'm going to holler at you. Peace.